There we go. We should be back live now. Fairly, yeah, we should be up to quality live again. Sorry for the rip, people. Something happened with my encoder. Went to, but it's back now. We're good. We're quality good. CJ said to D-pad, "You are cash for your your tweets.
I am what?
You are cash money for your tweets."
Oh, gotcha.
All right, so we are officially back, and once again, I have added you to. Okay, deep. Okay, I added you to things for the sheet, so you should be good there. I'm gonna close out of Skype and get back to the stream. So we're gonna move on to the end of the round picks now, I believe, and we can take a look real quick here and see that the we have this big list of things that were chosen, and obviously, uh, can we? Can you guys see the stream again?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's discuss these picks because honestly, we have a good setup here. I feel like everybody drafted pretty well for the second round as far as picking up, some coverage to cover their first Pokemon. I mean, obviously, with Treve over there taking KB to go with Lando I was ridiculous. I mean, what do you guys think was
Yeah,
like?
it's a very, very scary pairing.
I mean, what do you guys think was like the best and worst pick of this round?
I think one of the best is New York Metagross with Cresselia. That way he can Lunar Dance his Volcanion back up to full health.
Mm-hmm.
And speed control. It's a terrifying pair.
Yeah, that's definitely a good pairing. I also like the Landorus Therium to pair with the Hoopla Bound and Aki's team for sure. I feel like that was a good pickup on that part.
I like the round as a whole, but I think we should move on to the next one.
Says the horse who told us we discuss more in depth on this round. Anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
to be fair, you already discussed in depth through the whole round anyway.
yeah, I think we need to move it on.
Don't need 2 rounds of in
well,
depth.
we are on to the third. We are on to Kyle's third pick, and he has chosen Latios to go with his Mega Metagross and Conkeldurr. Oh, and we're gonna go back because I'm a horse.
He chose the Latios. Not even bad. Not even bad.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest about this one. I'm not like a super big fan of this pick.
What makes you say that?
I honestly, personally think that a better pick there would have been just because he already had a Psychic type in Metagross, and Hydreigon and Mega Metagross pair almost perfectly together.
Mm-hmm.
As we saw A-Drive do it in the UCL, and he also had Conkeldurr. So I just feel that Latios is stocking up now on 2 Psychic types, which is more Ghost weakness, it is more knockoff weakness in general. I get that it's a good defogger, which obviously Hydreigon does not have access to, but Hydreigon also has access to things like U-Turn, which can bring in Metagross against those pesky fairy types really easily. So I feel like he could have saved a few points and got Hydreigon instead of investing in Latios. That being said, Latios is still immensely good in this format, but honestly, I personally think for his team, Hydreigon was better.
It's true, and I was also thinking the same thing. This team is incredibly ghost weak right now. I mean, Conkeldurr, the best thing it can do is knock off, and any Cofagrigus can sit in here on all these Pokemon for days and just eat hits. So, something to be wary of, especially with Cough getting, Mummy. Mega Metagross loses Tough Claws. Anyway, we're going to move on because we don't want to go too in depth. We'll discuss that later. And we're still waiting on the pick, and it looks like Jack Miendos takes Tangrowth as his third pick to complete that Fire, Water, Grass core in Talonflame, Starmie,
I
and
love
Tangrowth.
Tangrowth.
Tangrowth
Tangrowth is amazing.
Tangrowth is a beautiful Pokemon.
It's a really strong pick from Jack as well. He knows how to use Tangrowth. I've known him for many moons. He is a very, very good user of Tangrowth, and I think that it's an incredibly versatile Pokemon. J-Specs kind of showed that during last season, but as access to obviously being assault vested while also being defensive with things like sleep powder, it is incredibly versatile. And I know Jack can use it to the best of its ability.
Tank growth takes hits, man. It's crazy.
It
That
is
thing
a
is annoying. It doesn't die. It
it's
just
a
doesn't die.
it is a ridiculously good mon. And it looks like Treve and the Atlanta Braviaries have made their third pick. They pick up Infernape as their third pick to pair with Landorus Incarnate and Kieran Black. And personally, for me, I love this pick.
Hey, shout outs to Rockin' Aerodactyl in the chat. What's good, bro?
Okay, Trev, if you're here, do you want to talk about?
He had to check out. He had to check out.
He had to
So
rip.
just
Okay,
just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
all right. Well, once again, I love Infernape, and I'm not. I don't really know how I feel about it being on this particular team. I mean, it's a great pivot though to get into Kieran Black as well as Landorus, but I mean, definitely have.
It is my absolute favorite design of a Pokemon. Not that it matters for League, but it is my top number one favorite.
It's definitely a good one for sure. And it looks like Dolphin has made his pick, and his third pick in this draft is Raikou to go with Greninja and Mega Aerodactyl.
My goodness.
You want to talk about power on this team? Good gosh. I mean,
That's right.
so yeah, tell us about this pick for a little bit.
Mm, well, first off, Raikou has the. I already completely forgot its ability. I know it has pressure as its normal ability, but I feel like its hidden ability Volt Up is definitely going to be quite helpful, especially since it's usable in this league. Raikou is quite powerful. It has a high special attack, and it also has quite decent speed. So I think it's going to help me out. Although I know Cresselia is in the field, I think I just want to bring as much power as I can. Really, I mean, I had considered bringing Zapdos, but I think I could do with a little bit more. What would you call it?
Yeah.
A little bit more offensive threat.
So yeah, you definitely have that with Raikou on your team as well. Thank you for sharing. And looks like Alcoholic Gamer has made his pick, and he adds Staraptor to his Rotom Wash Megazord X squad.
Ooh,
A little
the
bit more
perfect.
of a Rock's weakness, but I
Yeah,
mean, shout outs to Kai, man. He couldn't really. Well, he's in commute right now. He'll be here. Possibly he may make it home. He's on the way home now, but he's sending me his picks, so we have his picks. We have no need to worry about that. But I mean, I can't say I dislike the pick. It's just if with that and pre Zard X, it's a lot of rock weakness. But
that's true.
how about we move on?
So yeah, it's definitely a good pickup for sure. I want to see what he builds around it. But anyway, it looks like CJ and the Baltimore Orioles have taken the Hydreigon that was also necessary to go with that Mega Metagross from earlier. Now, I will say here, I'm seeing a huge fairy weakness so far, but that's just coming from me. I mean, quick thoughts from anybody?
I am
Very
here.
weak
Sorry, I'm
this
trying to
week.
keep up with Twitter.
So yeah, I certainly like Hydreigon in its coverage. It's really good all around stats, nothing under 90. I mean,
Hashtag Hamden. CJ, if you don't nickname that Hamden, I'm gonna fight you.
true. I'll send you a bunch of them that have the name Hamden already from PMC Season 1. Anyway, and it looks like Orso wanted to make his pick really quickly because he threw in Domfan to go with his Victini and Clefable.
Not even bad. One of the best spinners in the game. I 100% like the pick.
This,
Clefable isn't really affected by rocks because of Magic Guard,
oh,
but it can help get rid of hazards for a potential Victini cleanup.
that is true. And it looks like Maximum Charizards took a pick super duper fast. He brings Heatran to go with that Hippowdon and Alakazam.
Now the Heatran pick was kind of confusing to me. Just be oh wait no I'm sorry I don't know why I thought it said Bermuda as if he had Zard X and then Turtles Heatran. But then again it's I mean that would have been two fire resistances and Jack is with his lady friend so no Jack me and Doge here.
Rip.
But so far I mean I can't say the Maximum Charizards is a underwhelming squad, but it doesn't. I mean, I just think he missed out on the opportunity to grab some of the harder hitters when they were still there.
It's true, but I mean, once again, I'm anxious to see what else he drafts in this, and it looks like Spencer decided to capitalize on some bulk in this, and he grabbed Suicune to go with his Mega Scizor and
Ah,
Gengar.
hashtag Crow Coon.
Man,
Mr. Mega Beedrill, as far as an NC team, I don't think so off the top of my head. And Happy, what is poppin', bro? I don't think there are any North Carolina teams, but Happy, my boy Happy, welcome to the stream, friend. Everyone be a lord. Tweet out the stream as we're going through PMC D-League Season 1, Holy Tongue Twister.
Yeah, who
It's
picked up
hype.
Don Fan? I'm behind a little bit here.
No worries, no worries. Don Fan was picked up by the
Orso. That would be the
Windsor Weebiles.
Okay.
yeah. And Suicune pairs really well with that Mega Scizor, by the way. Just throwing that out there. See, especially as a defensive setup. But it looks like young Adam, the bee's knees, decides to take Mega Gyarados to go with his Latias and Genesect. So
Not even bad. Mega Gyarados is a monster in this format.
it is true.
Adam actually capitalized on the fact that it wasn't a tier 1 this season by drafting it. So, good luck, Adam, because next season that bad boy will be moved up to tier 1. And yeah,
Spoilers. But yeah, and
spoiler alert.
true. And it looks like RG decided to capitalize on that fact, and he went to take Mega Venusaur to go with his Volcanion and Cresselia. Can we say
My
hashtag
boy
bulk?
R Jizzle 9 with the Fire Water Grass core with only 2 Mons.
It's true. That is very true, and this Pokemon is a monster defensively and offensively, to be honest. But we're going to move on and discuss these more in depth as we go to the end of the round pick. And speaking of the last pick of this round, Aki and the Portland Crowbats take Amoonguss to go with Hoopa Unbound and Landorus Therian. Which,
Recall 1001 was popping. Welcome to the stream. Hello, I remember you from my viewer battles. What's up, Rick? If you're not aware, this is my league called the Pokemon Masters Cup. We are streaming the D-League. This is pretty much people fighting for a spot on the main roster with us big dogs, the ones with the cap cards.
true.
So, if you like that, by all means, check out my channel, check out everyone's channel. Hey, Floppy Wombat was popping. I just literally said what was going on. But we're streaming the D-League's draft of my league. If you know what the GBA is, you will know what this is. It's basically a league draft format, but we play Pokemon 6v6. And yeah, got some coaches, got some players, got some mons, and a good time.
You know that's right. And we are now at the end of what I believe is round 3. So let's take a better look at these, this setup as far as who's got what. I mean, I want to say that probably one of my favorite pickups in this, honestly, was the Suicune from Spencer that really paired well with his team to go with that Mega
I like
Scizor.
I like Jack's pick. He went ahead and grabbed Tangrowth, which is a later. I'm pretty sure Tangrowth is tier 3.
It is tier 3, yes.
But yeah, he went ahead and grabbed his tier 3 as soon as possible. And now nobody else can snag it up. Tangrowth is amazing. And
I
yeah,
think another really good pick, and this is maybe me being a bit biased because I've used this thing to championship success, but Mega Gyarados is freaking terrifying, guys. Like it's it's just very, very bulky. It can eat up a lot of hits defensively speaking, as I did use a very, very defensive Gyarados to win my championship match. But then it can also be incredibly offensive, as RG found out when I 6-0'd him with it once. So it is a very, very versatile mon. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, especially with Mole Breaker, meaning that the Water Absorb Pokemon can go suck a dick, and the Unaware Pokemon can also go suck big cojones. It is very, very... It's amazing against Mega Sableye, because Mole Breaker means that Magic Bounce doesn't affect it, and it can go straight for a Toxic on it, and it can just run like a Rest Talk set. As J-Specs knows, I love my Rest Talk mons. So
Yes, he does. Bird
and
is.
Rest Talk Mega Gyarados is actually amazing, guys.
He should change his channel name to Mr. Rest Talk.
True. Vertigo Rest
Bird
Talk.
runs Rest
You know
Talk.
what? You know what? Mega Gyarados is amazing, but I think my Raikou would be able to take it. So bring it
one
on.
thing about Raikou, before we move on quickly about Raikou, is it true that we're allowing them all to have their hidden abilities in this league?
If it's legal, then it's usable.
If it's genable, then yes, we can do it.
It
Okay,
is
cool.
legal. If I'm not wrong, it's in Gen 4.
Because I know that the legendary birds have their hidden abilities out now, I believe, because Zapdos now has static. But I don't know if the legendary, I don't even know, are they dogs or cats?
The
Legendary
beasts.
dogs. May I say something? Raikou, Suicune, and Entei's hidden abilities are available in a Wi-Fi. I think it was a Wi-Fi or it's wireless event.
No,
I know
it's-
because I have used it before. I have used it in black and white before. So yeah.
From what I'm seeing on Cerebi, it is not available.
It's not available?
There's been no event to release it yet, I don't believe. To legitimately release it into X and Y, or into any of the games, it hasn't been released yet. So, until they are officially released, their hidden abilities are not allowed. But I will say that that the hidden abilities for the legendary birds, should they be taken, or any of the other ones that have their hidden abilities released, will be able to use them. And honestly, if you wanted to be cheeky with that Greninja and run a Torrent set for whatever reason you would ever think to do that, you actually could do that too, but I don't see why you would. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next round because Aki has put in his pick, and he decides to finish off the Regenerator core by adding Slowbro to that Amoonguss.
Ew.
I love
I
it.
agree. Ew.
I feel like it's a good pairing, though.
It is a good pairing.
It's
You know
disgusting.
what's a better bulky water with Regenerator though, boys?
Alamomola.
You know it already, don't you?
'Cause I love that
Name that is
Pokemon.
impronounceable.
It gets Wish. Anyway, I mean, you can't really argue with that.
All right, so Happy, that team is disgusting. If you get both Mega Venusaur and Mega Medi. Zealdark, hello, welcome to the stream. I don't really remember your name, so I'm guessing you're a new viewer. We're streaming the D-League draft for my league. If you know what the GBA or the UCL is, then you know what this is basically going to be. But if you like some Pokemon content, drop a follow. I do shiny hunting, I do viewer battles, all that good stuff. And if not, you can drop a sub as well. Yeah, plug in my own channel because it's my channel anyway.
And speaking of picks and drafts and battles and such, Argy the Awesome takes Hitmontop as his next pick.
The bee's knees is not wrong. I do dabble in the Splatoon content.
Splatoon content. But yes.
He's lying. I don't
No.
do Splatoon content.
Not yet.
J-Specs kind of does though.
I do?
You do.
Mm.
You do all manner of horsely things.
Oh my. Yo, can we just give a shout out to Hitmontop and his dance moves?
It's
And he has
true.
the cleanest whip of all time. Now watch me whip.
You know what? There needs to be a Hitmontop versus Ludicolo dance battle.
Oh
my
man, time to dance.
You know Ludicolo is always winning that.
It's true. Time to dance.
Especially if
Because
it's
not
teeter.
only can side to side, he does a little shimmy as well.
It's true. But
That's true.
and speaking of, and moving on to the next pick, because the bee's knees has added his pick, he chooses Mamoswine as his fourth pick to go with Genesect, Mega Gyarados, and Latios. Which
This is a very aggressive team so far.
so far really does look like it. The only real like wall you could use is Latios right now, but even still, it hits like a truck with Draco Meteor. And it looks like Spencer has put in his next pick, and he chooses Crocodile to go with the rest of his squad.
Shout outs to Crook. Scarf Moxie is dangerous. That's all you need to say.
And it's really true. And so I think that's really all there's need to say about that. Just gonna wait on Max to send in his pick. And ooh, all right. So Max and Max from Charizard takes Ferrothorn as their next squad member.
The maximum Charizards.
That pairs really well with Rotom and Charizard as a fairy as a grass
Ex-
court, to be fair. Just saying.
Except that he doesn't have Rotom or Charizard.
Wait, oh no, that's the other guy. Never mind. He has Hippo and Alakazam and something else.
And Heatran.
By the way, D-pad, if you don't know anybody's Twitter name, let me know. Who is dropping bricks? Sounds like somebody's playing street hockey in the kitchen.
Dolphin, mute your mic.
Oh, right. Hold up.
All
The
right.
brick dropping is me, though, by the way.
Okay. And it's,
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
It was me.
Thank you, Dugo. Anyways.
Thanks for playing street hockey in safe places, Verd.
And speaking of playing street hockey in safe places, the Windsor Weavile's fourth pick is Chestnut.
Hold on, shout outs for us having 17 viewers in the stream. You all are amazing. I would say I do daily, but I don't do daily recently. I'm gonna start back into doing daily Twitch streams. I've just been looking for a job, which has been trying to cut that off a little bit. But welcome everyone who is here.
What is going on?
I have no idea. Someone's being murdered in the background.
Yeah, sounds like somebody's taking an ice pick to the freezer.
Or to the face, one or the other. And CJ's pick is in, and he takes Scolipede to go on the Baltimore Orioles squad.
Can we actually take a moment and ask Bert to mute his mic?
What you talking about, horse?
It's actually true. I think it's Verd's mic that's going crazy. That is 100% Verd's mic going crazy over there. The Dugo. Alright, so anyway, we're gonna wait on Kai, the alcoholic gamer boy, to send in his pick while Verd attempts to not kill all of our ears. And it looks like
Yeah,
Kai
that'd be
just-
good. Anyway, I need to catch up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. And it looks like Kai has sent in his pick, and he takes Umbreon to go with Rotomwash, Staraptor, and Megazord X. So, once again, more talk on this as we continue, because we're going to try to move this stream along a little bit, but we also do have to wait on picks, so I'm not going to, force anything, but it looks like Dolphin has sent in his next pick to be Vaporeon to go with Greninja, Raikou, and Mega Aerodactyl. And I will say this, the one thing I'm seeing right now is kind of an electric weakness, but I mean, Raikou kind of hits that. But I mean, three other Pokemon, but then again, Greninja is also a type changer. So, and it looks like Trev was beyond ready to send in his next pick of Doublade to go with Inferno Blanders, Eye, and Kyurem Black. And I hear lots of rip and no talking. Yay!
I'm still.
I mean,
here.
it was only because we were waiting until like the end of the round to recap everything.
That is true. And we're also waiting on Lamiendoge for his pick. Rip in pieces. But in any case, this will also give young D-Pad a chance to catch up a little bit, despite the fact that he's older than all of us. But
Yeah, I was gonna say young, like I'm
everyone,
aged.
low-key, everyone's young here. I
Yeah,
mean,
you freaking relic.
I mean, let's just be fair here.
Maybe
We're all
a
young.
walker.
Let's not be hasty on the insults there, pal. Alright.
I'm kidding.
Nah, no.
When am I ever serious?
That is
Let's be honest. When am I ever serious?
that is a fair point. When are you ever serious? except for when you're destroying lives in the PMC.
Hey man, semi-final bound.
Hashtag Kieran Black. Anyway, and it looks like
It
we
wasn't
finally.
even my leading kill getter.
It looks like the Miendoge does take his token Kyurem, regular Kyurem, to go as his second tier 3 pick.
Will he choose Meloetta? The world may never know.
That is true, because Kyle was hopping like crazy to grab this Togekiss to go with his Conkeldurr, Latios, and Mega Metagross to
Hello? What
complete.
does that have to do with Meloetta, you horse?
Well, nothing. But it does have to do with completing a Fairy Dragon Steel Core.
You said that
See,
nice and abruptly.
This still grinds my gears because if he knew he was going to pick up a Defogger and Togekiss straight afterwards, he could have picked up Hydreigon. That grinds my gears.
he may just hate double weaknesses that much. I don't know. But in any case, we are at the end of the round, and we can discuss a little bit more in depth before we go on to lay next round. So, speak to me, fellas. What you thinking? What you thinking?
A couple of interesting choices in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think some teams are still trying to patch up certain weaknesses. Obviously, over time, they'll get a few more mons to do that. But right now, a lot of teams are looking pretty solid. I'm seeing a lot of offense being taken. There's not really that much defense being picked up. It's more kind of offense based here. But I think later on we'll see the more bulkier picks from the lower tiers get picked up.
I actually like the Ferrothorn pick by Max. It kind of goes with the fact that he has Heatran because Heatran soaks up its fire weakness.
That's true. That's very true. The only thing he has to watch out for is some fighting moves. But, those are easily countered by Alakazam he's got on his roster as well. So, props to him for grabbing something that goes really well with his team despite never having done a league format battle or draft before. And then I like Scolipede pickup on CJ's team as well.
Yeah, Scolipede's very underrated. It's actually a very good Pokemon in this format.
With Baton Pass and Speed Boost, you can't really argue too much.
I will be right back, people, so I'm going to rip for like 2 seconds. Me thirsty.
Alright, just give me 1 minute here before we start moving on to the next round, even if it come in, because I'm just trying to...
No worries. If you guys want to go ahead and give some more thought processes, by all means, go ahead. And my mods that are in the chat, if people are bugging out, I'm not saying they are, just because I see huge amounts of text. Just make sure to relegate what's going on. And Polyrath Gaming, hello. I'm pretty sure I just was talking to you on my YouTube video. Hi, welcome to the stream. And with that, I'll be back in a few seconds, people.
One thing to note, we've been, 5 rounds deep now? No, 4 rounds deep. Is that there are a lot of very, very good high-tier Pokemon that haven't been taken yet. I'm curious to see if people want to pick them up or if they're not going to.
Did I miss it, or has Jirachi not been picked?
Jirachi has not been picked.
So so we're moving on to the next round now that
give me 1 more second. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Also, I believe Mew has not been picked yet.
It is not. You're correct. But
Go ahead.
Kyle's token pick has now officially been taken with Haunch Crow.
I guess that makes up for him not picking the Hydreigon.
Is it over there? So that seems like a Kyle thing to pick up this Haunch Crow. Though I will say he's got quite a bit of an ice weakness going on here. So
but ice types, that's another thing. Weavile hasn't been picked up yet, so really the only ice types he has to worry about is both the Kierems and a Mamoswine. And both of the Kierems can't really, Mega Metagross can kind of deal with them. Earth Power is a problem, but Meteor Mash is a problem to them. So, I don't know. And then with Mamoswine, though, Mamoswine could be an issue for his team.
Yeah, it really could. And speaking of general issues for most teams, the Miendoge's next pick was Mega Altaria.
Most overhyped mon ever.
Most overhyped mon ever? Clearly you haven't heard of Pikachu.
Well, I meant for counter teams.
Yeah, it's pretty it can be pretty overhyped. I think its typing is incredibly solid. Dragon Fairy is very, very good, only really having, I believe, 3 weaknesses off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And they can be pretty easily mitigated with Jack's team. I think it works well with what he's picked. I actually really like the combination of Talonflame and Mega Altaria. I really like that combo together. It is, I don't know if it's going to work with Jack's playstyle, but I think he'll be able to make it work all right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely round pick worthy.
And speaking of interesting picks, Trev and the Atlanta Braviaries decided to take Mega Autono.
Now, this is actually a pretty smart pick if you think about it. So, Mega Ordino, because of the way that the PMC draft has been set up, gives Trev an extra 100 free points just straight in the bank, which means instead of having 400 free points to pick from, guys, Trev has 500, which is pretty insane because that means that he can basically quite safely, if I do my maths correctly, get 2 tier 1s, 2 extra tier 1s on top of the Kia M. And I think the Landorus is already picked up, depending on if Infernip is a tier 1 or not. I can't remember.
Infernip is a tier 2, thankfully. So
yeah, so if he wanted to, he could pick up another tier 1. He can then pick up a tier 3 and a tier 4. So by picking up Mega Ordino, he has the ability to pick up 3 tier 1 Pokemon, which is terrifying because Mega Ordino itself is a very solid mon, being able to Wish Pass and having a decent Fairy typing.
I think that's a good idea. Sorry about that, guys. We have my wife in the background who wanted to do some commentary but isn't feeling so good. So we do have the next pick on Dolphins team, which is Mandibuzz.
It's an interesting one. See, I'm a bit on the fence about Mandibuzz. I've used it in the past, and it's alright as a defogger, but the one thing that I found using it was that it only really works well with that defogging set. It doesn't really have much versatility. Like, I know it gets weak armor and stuff, and it has like decent moves, but its defensive stats, I will not deny, are very, very impressive. Like, defensively speaking, it is very, very good, but it has a pretty shallow move pool, and it basically just runs like a variety of like foul play, taunt, toxic roost, defog, U-turn, those kind of things. But you know what? It could work for Dolphins team. I just feel that it's not the best pick in this format, and I think he could have definitely picked it up a bit later in the draft too. I don't think anybody was really looking for Mandibuzz in this draft.
It's true, especially with the fact that he's now incredibly weak to electric type Pokemon. I mean, that's starting out before Greninja changes types. That's 4 Pokemon weak to electric right there.
And he's depending on Raikou to be able to deal with it, but it's very easy for any electric type Pokemon that he goes up against to just tech HP ground and be able to deal with Raikou over time. So
I tell him to be aware of a Mega Electric essentially. But
yes.
And we have the Bermuda Tri-Attacks taking Toxicroak as their next pick. This is a mon I haven't seen picked in the draft format very much, to be honest.
And it is a bit surprising that it hasn't been picked before because it has a very, very underrated ability in Dry Skin. For those who don't know, Dry Skin is basically an ability where any water type attack actually heals the Pokemon. It's kind of like Water Absorb and Volt Absorb in that sense. But obviously, in a rain situation, it will heal Toxicroak each turn, and in a sun situation, it will damage Toxicroak. But it just makes Toxicroak a very good switch in for certain things. Like, for example, we were talking about the Manaphy debate.
Yes.
If you have Manaphy with, say, Tail Glow, Scald, Energy Ball, and maybe the last move is Ice Beam because they weren't expecting Toxicroak. Maybe it's HP Fire because they're expecting maybe a Ferrothorn, for example. Then you bring in this Toxicroak, which essentially can eat up almost any hit that Manaphy throws, even at +3, and can retaliate quite hard. It has very, very good stab combo in Drain Punch and Gunk Shot, as well as having Sucker Punch, Swords Dance. It can also run a Nasty Plot set. It has a lot of capabilities. It is just a little bit slow, and the 4 times weakness to Psychic is a little bit deterring.
Yeah, on the plus side though, it's one of the only fighting types that is not weak to.
Weak to what? The
Fairy.
Yeah.
Very, very. It is neutral against Fairy, and it is one of the fighting types that can hit the Fairy the hardest because Gunk Shot rips through them.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. Speaking of another dry skin mon, CJ picks up Heliolisk from Tier 3, which
This is a really good pick, man. This is like it has two incredible abilities. Solar power, which is basically slap with thing with a choice specs when the sun is up. Pretty
mhm,
much, it gives it a choice specs boost when the sun is out. It just loses a bit of HP every turn, but it becomes a savage. Or then obviously the dry skin ability again, being able to switch on those water types. The dual stab is really nice. Actually, it's a really nice move pool.
it,
What do you guys think of Heliolisk?
it also gets Sand Force, if I remember, or Sand Rush, I think.
Sand Veil,
Sand Veil, ooh, but
but I didn't
it's
think we were
banned.
doing any evasion.
It
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
banned.
that's
exactly.
banned.
So yeah,
Sadly, it
But
is
I
banned.
mean, the other thing is that because of its normal typing, it can hit almost anything neutrally for huge damage with Hyper Voice.
That's true.
mm.
So yeah, that's definitely a good pickup for him, especially with this team.
The Phantom yawn right there, guys.
Uh, so yeah. My wife is talking to me about our little girl that could be coming any day now. Woohoo! Hashtag
You.
Phantom Family. And speaking of random things, the Windsor Weaviles pick up Blastoise to go to complete their Firewater Grass Core in Victini Chestnut Blastoise. His second tier 3 mon as well. So
I love this pick.
it's,
It's one to me. It's short of recovery. I think it's one of the best rapid spinners.
it's true. I mean, and even then, you could slap this thing with Aqua Ring if you were really desperate enough for recovery. But I mean, even still, Blastoise is phenomenal. It's fat. If you ran a rain team, it gets Rain Dish. I mean, this
Yeah, A Drive took it to the championship.
and it served him really well on his team. I will say that it served him incredibly well. Oh, just her in the hospital. Just her in the hospital. So yeah, and sorry about the little bit of silence. Once again, I'm trying to help my wife decide things, and that kind of takes precedence. But we do have the maximum Charizards taking Megazard Y as their next pick.
So that's interesting because didn't they have Hippowdon?
Yes, it is.
Someone ran a Sand slash Sun team last season in the GBA, and they made it.
Did, but it was no, but see, it was Tyranitar and Charizard, which makes a lot more sense because
Okay.
Charizard can resist the fighting types that would hamper Tyranitar, and Tyranitar with the sand was able to deal with the water types really easily because they would do nothing with its special defense being ridiculous. But with Hippowdon, it's not really. I don't know. I think the combination of Hippowdon and Zarboi is not as good as the combination of Tyranitar and Zarboi, in my opinion.
So yeah, and it definitely makes a good Sun team a little bit with Heatran, but my only thing is with Ferrothorn sitting there, it kind of doesn't really work well. But that's why Hippowdon's there, I guess. But we're gonna move on to the next pick, and it looks like Spencer chooses Electros to go with his roster.
I'm a big fan of Electros. Yeah, I'm a big fan. This thing is incredibly versatile on a team. It has access to so many different moves, like not just the electric moves like Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, but you go Giga Drain, Super Fang. It has, I think, Drain Punch, Dragon Tail, Knockoff. It has so many options on this thing. It is very. It's a bit scary to go up against because you know what kind of set you're actually going to be facing, and that could be really tricky for an opponent.
Yeah.
I used it in.
I mean,
To me, this is one of the only electric type Pokemon that's slow that is viable.
yeah, exactly. And moving on to the next pick, you guys discuss this. I'm gonna go fix something real fast, but the Bee's Knees takes Porygon 2.
one of the best walls in the game by far. I mean,
I think it is quite good with his team so far. The one thing I'm noticing with his team though is it's looking like it's going to struggle a little bit with fighting types. If you think about it, he can like fighting types can break through Mega Gyarados plus Porygon 2 and Mammoth very easily. Best switching is Latias, obviously, but Latias, all it takes is one predict on like P2 or something to go for the knockoff because they could just knock off P2's item or knock off Latias's item, and basically almost every fighting type has access to knockoff. So he has a little bit of a fighting type weakness right now. But then again, it's not the most common typing that people pick up, so he might be okay.
Yeah, and I have done calcs on this, and even a burned Conkeldurr, if you run max HP, max defense on your Latias, it will only do about 60%. So it is survivable, and if you put like a Colpal Barrier on it, it does have the sustain that you are looking for.
Yeah, and I think obviously it's very early days. Like we're only I think halfway through people's drafts now, so he has enough time to pick up, a fairy type and a ghost type to be able to mitigate that big weakness to the fighting types anyway. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal for him. It's just right now it looks like fighting types are a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you pretty much if he's going up against anyone with a fighting type, he has to so over prepare for it that it becomes predictable. And if they don't bring it, then what do they do?
Yeah, I mean, so far though, it shouldn't be too bad. And like, even so, like it would take good prediction. He can run, Coldberry and Latias.
All right,
he
you
has
horse.
ways around it.
All right, you horses, I've returned. So, sorry about that. What did I miss of us discussing P2?
It's phenomenal, other than the fighting weakness, which his entire team had.
Except for Latias, but even still, I mean, Latias doesn't want to take a couple knockoffs, to be honest. But it can be easily worked around with the team, and I'm sure that he'll draft something that'll fix that up. But yeah, that is a pretty big fighting weakness so far. And, Argy takes young Fortress from tier 3.
Seeing this thing in just the regular PMC, it was incredibly versatile. Everybody thinks that like, oh yeah, the 4 times weakness to fire, so everybody's going to take hidden power fire. But if you pair it with the right things, and especially pairing it with something like Volcanion, I think it is actually going to be really, really strong for RG's team. Being able to not only get rid of hazards, but it can also be a very, very good offensive Pokemon. As we saw Cloud Envy go to 9-1, bringing this thing I think it was second in his entire team for kills, only because his Gardevoir picked up 4 at the end of the season.
I mean, this thing is counter, this thing gets revenge, this thing gets explosion, this thing is volt switch, this thing is gyro ball, this thing gets a crap ton of good stuff. Plus every kind of hazards barring sticky webs. And rapid spin to boot all that out. I mean, this thing is a phenomenal Pokemon, but that weakness to fire makes it a little bit iffy, but it can still be easily worked around with things like Volcanion, Cresselia, even Mega Venusaur. I mean, this is just a great pick to go with the rest of the team. And he's taken a second rapid spinner to kind of, put some pressure on people.
I think it will be a very strong Pokemon for his team. Like I said, pairing with Volcanion is going to be incredibly crucial for him.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Aggie decides to go with the comfort pick on his side that I know of. He takes Excelgor to finish out this round of the draft.
Spike stacking prowess. I mean, it is a really good suicide lead, or just a good lead in general. Having the spikes, which is great, but also having access to things like Final Gambit, Bug Buzz, Acid Spray, which is really underrated.
Yeah.
It gets U-turn as well. It can be pretty darn scary to deal with.
Exactly. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. And like I said, Final Gambit is one of the scariest things. This thing has the same base HP as a Volcarona, so it can be ridiculous if you're not preparing for it.
You hush your mouth.
Well, the horse has returned, and we're just discussing Aki's last pick in this particular
I've been here
round.
for like 2 minutes. I was actually sitting there screaming G-Day, but you guys couldn't hear me.
Because rip you. So we're going to discuss these or do we want to discuss these at length, or do we want to wait until the end of this
I
next?
think
Because
I think we should move to the next.
say
I mean, it's already 10 o'clock.
yeah, we do need to kind of move, and we kind of did discuss these a little bit a little too in depth during it, but that was because the horse was gone. But anyway, and Aki decides to attempt to take his mascot in Golbat at the beginning of this next round.
I mean, Aggie kind of looks like a Golbat.
It's true, actually. Anyway,
See, I'm kind of surprised that Golbat went before Crobat, to be fair. I'm a big fan of Crobat. I think it's a very underrated Pokemon.
I think the biggest reason is
I think
because
it's awesome.
Crobat's amazing. I had it in one other league and did so much work. I actually used a nasty plot set 1 week. It was crazy. But no, it's definitely good. It's just I think it's because it's a higher tier, and Aki already had his 2 tier 3s and took Lando T as his first free, that he kind of wanted to have something in tier 4 that could do the same thing and be a little bit bulkier.
And it does give him a solid hazard removalist, and again another Pokemon to switch in on Hooper's 4x bug weakness. So
Yeah,
I can dig that pick.
I mean he's got so much Volt, he's got so much U-turn right here. I mean with Excelgor, Golbat, and Lando T right now.
So what I was saying about building a team, Hoopa is what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's done a very good job of it so far too. And speaking of building a good team, RG takes Jolteon from tier 3.
RG's
Nice.
hair kind of looks like a Jolteon.
I was going to say, too, is this round 7 we're into now?
No, we're in round 6.
I'm still very surprised this thing was left around until round 6. This is probably one of the best budget electric types around,
That's true.
to be
It's-
fair.
It's my favorite electric type. I mean, I
Hey,
know
wait,
it's not the
hold
best,
on,
but
hold on,
it's-
people, hold on. Arrow, if you want to chime in and give us some of your VGC standpoints on some of these mons, my friend, by all means, let me know in the chat.
It's true. So yeah, we're gonna.
Well, rip him. He just says goodnight right after. Well, he won't hear me saying it until a little bit after he says that. But all right, Rock, Arrow,
Yeah.
G night, my friend.
And speaking of electric types, the bee's knees takes Rotom Heat.
I mean, he doesn't know how to work a oven, so I don't know why he got Rotom Heat.
that ramen noodles.
Yeah, he's one of the need Rotom microwave.
Rotom trash.
Rotom. Rotom McDonald's.
Oh my gosh. Either way, it's gonna be electric and poison. So yeah.
Oh wait, I'd like to go ahead and say that today I saw X-Men Apocalypse.
Was it amazing?
It was underwhelming.
That's what I
Yeah.
heard.
That's sad.
Only because, without me saying any spoilers, they hyped up Apocalypse basically the whole movie just for him to not really do anything.
That's what they said on the reviews.
Rip. Well, Spencer and the Washington Talon Flames decided to take Braviary to go with the rest of this team as well.
Meh. That's the best thing I can say about this. Meh.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm not really a fan of Braviary, even though that used to be my team's mascot when I got gifted into the league format. But I even had Braviary on one of my first teams, and I did not bring that thing a single week.
I will say that it is a sheer force life orb mon, and giving
Yeah,
give
I think my main thing is it feels like one of those starter bursts that you forget about, and
Yeah.
that's the main. Like I forgot that it got sheer force. Like it feels too much like one of those. It feels like a Pidgeot, like a regular Pidgeot, more than a Star Raptor.
I will
I
say
agree.
one last thing about this Pokemon though is it can ruin teams if you give it Retaliate. I've seen it done. It is ridiculous what that thing can do. Hmm?
Which customer Eagles? That's called custom.
Yeah, one sec.
Yeah, we're gonna roll on, and the maximum
Oh,
charge.
Recall, I'm sorry about that, my friend. That sucks. At least you still have your X and Y. My Y version, I let my cousin borrow it, and he sold it. So rip
Rip.
me.
And speaking of getting sold, the maximum Charizards take Tentacruel as their next pick.
Get that spin action, pretty fast, but def wall, not
It's
even bad.
I feel like it was actually a super solid pick for his team.
His team doesn't look that bad. It's just, again, I just feel as if he missed out on his opportunity to capitalize on some of the bigger picks.
Young Orso and the Windsor Weaviles take Reggie Steele. Once again,
Reggie Steele was,
It's a really good wall.
yeah, it's an amazing wall on both sides. I love it. I love Reggie Steele as far as walling goes. But as far as his team, you know what? It's not bad.
that's a yeah.
Now all he needs is a dragon to complete that Fairy Steel Dragon core.
That is
If he
true.
was to pick up like Dragulge or something, his Fairy Steel Dragon core might actually be insane.
It is true, but the young CJ and the Baltimore Orioles take Imbor from Tier 3, which I feel like was a great pickup for his team, to be honest. He needed some fighting to go with that. He had a. I mean,
I
in this
mean, I know about Embor. I've learned about the damages of Embor from Espelancer to start off, and then Vert pretty much capped it off later on, just showing how much of a threat this thing is in League format. You have
Yeah,
to
the
prep
big
for it.
pig is terrifying.
You
word.
literally you have to prep for it, or it will rip you a new one.
This
You have
Pokemon,
no
can,
switching.
this Pokemon
this
can be
thing.
summed up in 2 words: Sucker Punch,
Sucker Punch, more like
Flare
Flare Blitz.
Blitz, or Head Smash, or what have you. This thing, you can fill in any 2 words there, and it pretty
More,
much just kills everything.
more like G Day.
That's true. GG. And speaking of GG, Kai and the Bermuda Tri-Attacks take Druddigon. So
I like this pick. I think Druddigon is a very underrated Pokemon. One of the big draw cards to it is its defensive capabilities and access to an ability known as Rough Skin. Combining that with a Rocky Helmet can really, really hurt a lot of offensive Pokemon. It's the same thing that Garchomp can do, where it just takes a huge chunk of your opponent's HP every time they try and use a physical attack against you. Has access to Glare, Stealth Rocks, but also has access to Sheer Force, so it can also be an offensive powerhouse as well. So
Exactly.
I think it's a very good pick.
I feel like it definitely does pretty decently with this team. The only thing now is that he needs a fairy to kind of sponge up those dragon hits that are going to be going towards Megazord X and Druddigon.
My leg.
It's true. And speaking of a really good fire type, Arcanine, or Dolphin takes Arcanine to kind of, sit there and not be
Who takes
another
Arcanine?
Dolphin.
Oh, it sounded like you said Darkin. I don't know what.
Yeah, him.
You
Yeah,
over
him.
here speaking Leaf Erickson.
Nah.
Hinga dinga Darkin.
I will. Once again, now
lovely,
this
lovely Ferguson.
now this team kind of takes on not only an electric weakness but also a rock weakness too. So another thing he's got to be careful. That forces him to bring a Defogger or a Rapid Spinner. Since he has a Rapid Spinner, it pretty much forces him to bring a Defogger every
I
weekend.
wonder why he went ahead and grabbed Vaporeon with Greninja, though. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people that usually have like a hyper offensive water type usually have a bulky water type on the other end as well. I mean, you see like I'm trying to think of an example here, like Azu and then Melodic, or Azu and then Rotom Wash. I've seen that in Draft League format a lot, but I mean, I don't understand. I'm not that I don't understand, just I don't. I
Yeah.
guess a bulky water type is too good to pass up on, but yet at the same time, an offensive water type is something that's few and far between. And once you do have one, it's a very good mon.
I'd say both of those really are few and far between, to be honest. And so grabbing both of them is ridiculous. But also, Greninja's every type, if you remember.
Epic Waffle, you cannot join this, my friend. This is a YouTube league. This draft is already being held. We're not taking anybody in. Like this is literally you popped onto the draft. Like we're not letting viewers join the draft. If you are an uploader, a YouTuber, or Twitch streamer, then you have chance to join future seasons by applying when we drop the application. Other than that, I'm sorry, my friend.
And speaking of the draft, the next pick from Treve and the Atlanta Braviaries is Feraligatr.
Young Trevor with the offense, man. All I'm seeing is offense and a Mega Audino.
A little bit of double eight if you want to go physical defense, but
And rip my computer as it went to sleep on me. Need to calm down.
Now, I feel like this is a pretty good pickup. I mean, it's definitely a water type that he needed because of the fact that he's got so many ice weaknesses. It looks like. I mean, Lando. I say ice weakness. He doesn't have a whole lot of them, but Lando I doesn't want to appreciate it, and Alligator can really just sit there in front of it, do damage. I mean, and then on top, he actually kind of has a ground weakness. It looks like, so you might want to look out for that. Besides Lando, but I mean, I'm sure he'll draft to cover that later. And speaking of drafting grounds, oh gosh, a ground type that's really good. Miendo's the Jack takes Nidoking.
I'm a big fan of the Nidos in this format. They are very, very good electric checks, as well as both having access to, cheeky things like the toxic spikes, but also the big draw card obviously is, other than setting up rocks, the sheer force power that both of them have. Nidoking is a bit more physical in the way that it goes about it, but Nidoqueen is no such. We're focusing here on Nidoking, and he has like base 100 physical or something, which is amazing. So like poison jab and earthquake, and that is great. But with sheer force and a life orb, you can run like the earth power, the ice beam, sludge wave, fire blast, thunderbolt. He has a lot of variety there. The only downside of Nidoking is I think it's base 85 speed, so it's a little bit slow.
Yeah,
but it can still be a very, very effective wall breaker.
and to round out this, to end up this round, Kyle and the Mesquite Mespritz take Rose Raid.
One of the best defensive walls, or special defensive walls.
Shiny Roserade is beautiful.
It
That
is,
all.
but taking ice hits is not something Kyle is going to want to do. Because once
I
again,
mean,
he had
Metagross is a fine ice. Oh my goodness. His team really is ice weak. Holy moly.
Yeah, he's
I
got
mean, like a Babiri Berry Mamoswine destroys his team.
yeah, pretty much. And so here we have the nice draft in or round end recap to kind of go over these last picks. And
One thing to just mention about Roserade, to get it, is that Roserade gets access to two very good abilities: Natural Cure, meaning it can take a burn and not give a shit, and Technician, which basically turns any hidden power into a base 90 move for Roserade,
which is ridiculous.
which is pretty wild.
So I think the best way for us to recap these going forward is just all of us give our favorite pick of the round and our least favorite pick. My least favorite pick being Braviary, and my favorite pick I would have to say either Emboar or Nidoking.
My favorite is Registeel because of it being such a good wall. I think defense wins these leagues more than offense does.
No,
And
you are right.
I really think that that's one of the best. And the worst, I totally agree with you, is Braviary. The thing, piece of junk.
Was this? Wait, did we say that that Dolphin picked up Vaporeon this round?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be my least favorite.
He
since
grabbed
already-
Arcanine. He grabbed
What
Arcanine
did you
this
pick up
round.
this round?
He grabbed
Oh,
Arcanine
no,
this
then
round.
that means
Oh.
grab Vaporeon last round.
I mean, definitely, I think the best pick of the round is Emboar. Just that is such an annoying thing to deal with. That's why I always draft it, because I don't want to prep against it. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that thing, because it's honestly like a pain in the ass to have to deal with.
That's how I feel about Kieran Black.
And that's why I franchise it to season 2 of the PMC.
And now you're gonna lose 100 points because you're a horse.
I'll still make a good team and beat you with it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
Honestly, I think my
I
favorite
think
pick.
Braviary is not that bad. To be fair, Braviary is not that bad.
I actually think my favorite pick in this one was Tentacruel from the Maximum Charizards. And that's really because it really went so well with this team. And it's something he really desperately needed.
Yeah, it's a good spinner for him to have, and he did need a spinner in there, and it does pair pretty nicely with what he already has. I think just one thing that he might need just to kind of balance his team out now would be a good ghost type. I think that would be something really good that he could try and pick up soon.
Yeah, I think so too. And speaking, we're moving on to the next pick in the draft, and now that we are here, we are adding on to Kyle's ice weakness. He takes Flygon.
Wow, this man just wants to be wrecked by things like Mamoswine, Kieran Black, and Kieran. The thing that surprises me also is why Weavile hasn't been picked yet.
Or he just wants Delibird to kill him, pretty much.
Literally.
Literally, Delibird ruins his life.
No, because like Delibird goes for Destiny Bond before Metagross Meteor meshes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But in any case, the Mien Doge Xiao Man Jack decides to take a Miltank. Which is,
Ooh,
I love Miltank.
okay.
Miltank is beautiful. Miltank is fat. Miltank is super cow, right, J-Specs?
Oh my lord, Miltank, I love you.
And in any case, we're moving
Shout
on
out to
to
Joey Pokey.
True. And Treve over here decided to take Reuniclus to have some more fat on his fat.
Yeah, Reuniclus is amazing in this. I think we can all agree on that fact.
I hate Reuniclus, but it's amazing.
It is in this. It's in the same vein as like Cresselia, just a bulky psychic type that can calm mind up and be a nuisance, really. Yes, it does get regenerator, and it also gets Magic Guard, which means it can't even get poison, which is just so dumb. But it is a very good thing. The only thing that's maybe not too great about it compared to Cresselia is, although it is bulky, it's not as bulky, so it does require the setup to be able to take a decent special hit. But it is still a very, very solid one.
Yeah.
The Trick Room set is terrifying too.
The Dolphin decides to take Doug Trio from Tier 4. Adding on to that he adds to his ice weakness yet again.
No, this is a really, really smart pick because we were talking about how Dolphin has an issue against electric types.
That is
true. Now he has a way to just murder electric types straight up. Just goes in with Dougie with a focus dash, and it is dead.
That is true. Unless, let's just hope his opponent doesn't happen to have a Magnet Rising Mega Manectric.
I mean, we've seen that before in the PMC, so it might happen again in the D-League. So you never know.
We have some really fierce competition here. Someone finally decides to draft one of my favorite Pokemon, but Kai, the Bermuda Tri-Attacks, takes Excadrill. And I'm surprised it dropped this far.
He takes young me.
Yeah, I'm amazed that drops to the 7th round.
That's insane.
Then again, Mew and Weavile haven't been picked, which also surprises me. But
and Jirachi.
The CJ decides to take Whimsicott. That completes that Firewater. It completes his Firewater Grass core and his Fairy Steel Dragon core, I believe. Nope, no Steel type yet. But he does have a Fairy and a Grass type.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Whimsicott. It's good because like Encore and all that is nice, and the Fairy and Grass type is nice, but
the Prankster Tailwind.
It's a 4x weakness to poison. It's a 4x weakness to poison, and it's so easy for any Pokemon to just tech HP poison onto a Mon. Like we saw it, I think, in one of the seasons of the GBA where A-Drive ran a Hidden Power Poison Rotom, and it was able to basically just destroy Whimsicott before it could do anything. And it's just one of those things where it's just, again, kind of like Mega Sizzle, it's very easy to tech something onto to take care of it, and unless CJ can find that Steel type for his team, he is going to struggle against that HP poison. So,
yeah.
Shout out to my channel mascot.
Also, in the Windsor Weaviles take Electivire.
This is an interesting one because people are very contentious about this because some people prefer Electabuzz over Electivire because obviously I think Electabuzz is faster.
It is.
And instead of getting Motor Drive, it actually gets Lightning Rod, which can be more effective sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, Motor Drive is great because it raises speed, but if you're up against something you can't really hit too hard, then it's not really going to mean shit. But that being said, Electivire is still a very, very good pick for him. It has really well-rounded moves, as well as being special and physical. It gives it a variety of options for him to use.
Yeah, definitely. And the maximum Charizards take Swampert.
Interesting. Very interesting since he already had a Hippowdon. I don't really know what the point of this pick was. What do you think, Tyler? What do you think is the point of this?
I think you wanted. You're looking for your remote. Okay, anyway, sorry. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking here, to be honest. But I'm interested to see what he'll do to build around it for sure. But we gotta keep moving on because Washington Talon Flames hate wheezing. Discuss.
I think this is a good pick. Weezing is a very, very solid Pokemon. In this format, I didn't really use it that much in my first season, the PMC, but what it can do very, very well is just the levitate ability is really nice because it deals with those ground types. Access to T-Spikes as well as Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split. Some really good moves there while also having some nice attacking options in Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower. It can be a pretty terrifying to deal with. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Who picked that? I'm sorry.
Let me see something.
Did we lose you guys?
I'm still here.
I'm back.
All right. I don't
Hello?
know if we have Tyler.
Hello?
I can hear you.
I think we lost Tyler in the process or something.
Hello?
Hello.
I can't hear you guys, so I'm going back in.
We can hear you, man.
I can
Yep.
hear you now. I'm back.
I think we lost Tyler though.
Okay, I'm about to have to
Tyler
run.
has
Yeah, I'm about to have to
Tyler
run.
Woodsly. DM me where exactly we are, so I know where to pick up off at.
I got you. Alrighty, give me a half second. And we are on this particular thing. I'm just gonna send you the number in the chat.
All right, let me
And just
get there now.
I'm gonna say, hey guys,
And all right, I can pick. Hold on, let me.
alright.
How do I make you guys not in my headset though? Before I do that.
I mean, that's how I've been picking it up through OBS.